Starfighters Arcade. It's a new underground vintage arcade out in Mesa. It's right across from Falcon Field off of McKellips Road. It's probably one of the best collections of vintage arcade machines I have ever seen. We've got a long episode for you today, but it's well worth staying tuned and seeing what Wolfman has in store for you.
Hey everybody, welcome to This Little Arcade. My name is Ricardo, and we are starting a brand new segment, which is our underground arcades. And this place is where we're going to be checking out. These are actually arcades. We're not talking about places where they have redemption, that, you know, getting tickets and that stuff. No, we're talking about real arcades. And sometimes these places are very hard to find, but that's what we're here for. We're gonna find these places, hunt them down, look for them, and give you guys the information so you guys can check it out. One of our first places that we're going to be checking out is actually Starfighters Arcade, and this actually is located in Mesa, Arizona. So we're going to go ahead and go inside. We're going to go check this place out and hopefully talk to our good friend Wolfman to show us the place around. So yeah, join us.
Vector Beam. Vector Beam is the name of the monitor. I knew it'd come in.
All right, so we are inside here, and once you enter right here, you can actually see we got some arcades. We got ourselves a Dig Dug right here, and I gotta tell you, we got the cockpit of Star Wars, and this is one beautiful cabinet right here. I gotta tell you, and here is Red Baron, and this actually we saw this one at ZapCon. It was actually a pretty fun game. You actually fly in the airplane and start, you know, pretty much being the trying to get the other guy to, you know, and from there you get yourself some points from that. We got Spy Hunter right here from Bally, from Midway, and I guess all these ones over here, they're pretty in good condition. I do like them a lot. I see that these were actually taken care of very well. And as you come in, you actually see a lot of like Star Wars nostalgia right here. And as you see, you know, if you want to actually get yourself some candies or get yourself some little snacks right here, it's a place to go and to get and everything. So, and I got myself a good friend of mine that he decided to show. No, just joking. No, Wolfman, thank you so much for stopping. Thank you for inviting us here.
Yeah. You're welcome for stopping by my place.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. So, I had to, you know, we just started doing the walking and everything, and I'm just loving this stuff, and I'm loving how the way you got the setup here. So, if you have a quick second, you know, you'd like to show us around and everything, so we can go ahead and.
I might be able to take a little bit of time to show you.
I do appreciate it. Yeah. So hey, so come on down. So let's go check it out. Let's go check out some of the games that we have over here.
All right. I had a hell of a time getting them to link. But I think the clamp settings are off on the video board for this. Just enough. Oh. But that doesn't have anything to do with the link. I shouldn't have messed with it. What do I get?
All right. So we are inside right here into the arcade, and so Wolfman, tell me a little bit about the story about this place.
Well, the jukebox is really loud.
It is, but you know, we can still hear it.
No, this is what Mike and I wanted to do. We wanted to get everybody to enjoy the games in the setting that they were meant to be enjoyed. Because as collectors, we have a bunch of games in our homes, and honestly, you don't play them as often as you think you might. But now you get a bunch of people in here, just like it was back when the arcades were big. And, you know, we're not lining quarters up on marquees anymore saying I got the next turn. But, you know, if you stand behind somebody and go, hey, kind of has a similar effect. But it's the enjoyment of coming here, and you can play against someone or try and beat a high score, or, you know, it's just the smells of the old games.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love this old school atmosphere. You know, you got yourself your little laser lights around, the lights, just nice little setup. I love it.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. I hope everybody else does too. But we just kind of put everything together, and things happened, and here it is, you know. So it's pretty cool. I get to play games more than I usually do at home. So you know, when there's not, you know, a ton of people in here, I can play Burger Time. I don't play Burger Time at home anymore, you know, but it's a fun game. A lot of these things, you know, I got to run through and make sure everything's still running good, you know, so we're always walking through the place, making sure everyone's having a good time and the games are functioning properly, and fix them on the fly if we need to, like you saw me working on the Hydro Thunders. But it's a little hectic getting it going, but once the doors are open and people get in here, it's awesome.
Anything that you're looking for in the future or later on in the that you will be doing for this place? Any tournaments or anything like that?
Well, yeah, we're wanting to do tournaments, high score tournaments. We're looking to get a high score, you know, board to set up front to give people a little more incentive, you know, to say, okay, I can beat that on Galaga. It's awesome. No way, you know. So we have a little fun like that. You've seen on Facebook that we've done a couple of, you know, small, quick competitions for, you know, like a marquee for a game, or a back glass for a game, or something along those lines. Just little trinkets and things that they're kind of really cool trophies to hang on the wall. Or maybe you need one for your game, you know.
The other things I've been noticing, like on the Facebook, that you guys are doing is the 80s trivia.
Yeah, that's actually Mike's brainchild, is the 80s trivia, or quick 80s quotes, and kind of slightly modified to fit into the arcade genre into that. So it's I get a kick out of it, and you'll catch me answering stuff on there too. So
yeah. So how many of these arcades are yours?
You know, right now it's probably about if I had to put a number, like 60% Mike's and like 40% mine. Maybe a little heavier on Mike's right now, but we keep cycling stuff through, and keep trying to at least. So games that don't get a whole lot of play, depends on what they are. Like Space Wars is always going to be here when it's running good. But things like that, other things that might not get a lot of attention, we might take out of the arcade and put something else that we have at home, and give people a chance to play something different, you know?
Cool. The whole purpose of this whole channel that I started off is to look for these places and actually to bring it out. So, Wolfman, so tell me a little bit about the place. Tell me, how did you guys decide to go ahead and start this place?
Well, like most people that have started collecting games at some point in their life, once you get a couple or three games, you're like, you know what? It'd be pretty cool if I had my own little arcade, you know? So we build our collections at home, and we have parties, and people come over and play them, and the feeling you get when other people that haven't played these games in years or decades or ever, you know, they have a lot of fun. They're like, oh man, you know, Phoenix is awesome. I've never even heard of it, and it was, you know, it was developed here. Are you kidding? So you know, there's a lot of history in a lot of these games that some came from the area. You know, most of them came from Chicago and back east, but a lot of people haven't seen all of the titles that we have here. You know, like my favorite Seawolf here.
Right here, yeah.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to get this locally from another collector, and I know it's not a very common game to see around, and I know when I had this at my home, and we'd have family over, you know, the kids would come over, and adults, and you know, up to 70 years old are playing this game and thinking, you know what, that's a cool game. I like that, you know. Well, this is 1976.
Yeah, this is actually.
She's still running strong.
So, I was seeing on the website, actually on your Facebook page, that you guys are doing like a small little tournaments going on once in a while, and one of them is actually Galaxian right here. Is that correct?
That's right. We try and pick a game that, that people know and can set a high score on, or at least they, you know, they've played it before, and they know, okay, I can do pretty decent on that. So it gives a pretty good incentive, you know, hey, I think I'm pretty good at Galaxian. I'm going to go try that high score competition, and you can get a Galaxian marquee to take home and say, this is my trophy.
My trophy,
because I'm awesome at Galaxian, you know. And pick a different game the next week. You know, I'm not sure we're going to do it every week, but it's just a little something extra to help get people to play different games and enjoy them. And that's basically what it's all about, you know?
That's pretty cool. The other thing I was seeing also that you guys are going to be opening for special for the membership members for Thanksgiving. Is that correct?
Thanksgiving night, I believe we're going to do, well, we were going to do for a couple of hours, like 8 to 10 or something, but it'll probably go 8 whenever everybody falls asleep, you know? So.
Right.
But we're going to do that just for the members, for our monthly and yearly members that have joined so far. It's kind of a little nice way to say thanks for becoming a member, thanks for believing in us, and really, you know, we appreciate it. So just for you guys, come down, bring your family, bring everybody you know, whatever you want to do, that's fine. We'll open up the doors and have some more fun, you know?
That is so cool. So all these arcades, they're all free play, is that correct?
They're all set to free play, and what's not capable of being set to free play at the moment, we're running around adding credits.
Running around pushing the credits, right, of course.
Until we can kind of get into the groove, and then what we can do, you know, ROM hacks to add free play, or we'll have to add some credit buttons in indiscreet locations that don't hurt the cabinets.
Right, right.
But, you know, whatever we need to do to allow people just to walk up to a game, press player 1, and enjoy it.
So your membership fee, so pretty much can you give me a little bit just of it of the whole, how your membership works?
Sure, I'll give you a quick overview. And like, you know, there's an unlimited number of daily memberships available, right? We are a club. We have to be a club member to come in and enjoy our clubhouse. So we started the Phoenix Arcade Collectors Club, or PAC, P-A-C-C. Yeah, you like that?
I love it.
So we started the Phoenix Arcade Collectors Club, and this is our clubhouse where we put our personal collections of games. You know, all of these games they're either Mike's, they're mine, there's a few of John's, and that's it for now. We ran out of room immediately, you know?
Right.
But, you know, that's kind of why we have things set up the way we do. We got rows 5 deep, and that's kind of the best design we came up with, you know, to allow people to move around and enjoy some of the games. But for our memberships, it's $14 for you and a guest, or just you, for a daily membership. So you come in, you pay the money at the front. You can pay. We can take debit and credit cards, or cash, of course.
Of course, yes.
And you can come in and enjoy from 8 till 11 on Friday and Saturday nights.
Okay.
And then our monthly memberships, I believe we got $30, and you can come in with 2 guests anytime during the month. You know, it's I think we're going with like a 30-day period, or we'll write your membership down. You bought it on, if you bought it on the 15th, it's good till the next month on the 15th. So it's not just, you know, you buy it the last week of the month and you don't get that much play. So we're doing it as fair as we possibly can for that. So yeah, it's $30. You bring in yourself and 2 friends, come in and play and have a good time. And then we also have yearly memberships. It's an awfully good question what we charge for the game. That many times. I'll have to look that up.
Let's go in.
All right, and then our yearly memberships are $120, and you can come in, you bring 2 guests, and you can come in anytime that we're open. You know, Friday and Saturday nights, you're welcome to come in with your family, or 2 guests.
Now, also you were, if I was hearing that you guys are doing also for the yearly memberships and the monthly, you guys are able to give out like a free play or something?
Another little incentive to have private parties for our monthly and yearly members. There are private parties available for periods about 2 hours, and I think we put a kind of a cap of about 20 people on that. But if you want more than 20 people to attend, there's another small charge for, you know, the extra people to come, kind of help us pay for our power. You know?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But
well, that is so cool. Yeah. So you want to show me around? I'm gonna go ahead and pass this mic for you. We're gonna walk around. You're gonna tell me a little bit of stories about the arcades and how you actually achieved them, or actually how were there actually a little bit of history about them.
sounds good.
Cool. So,
Yeah, smile for the camera.
so this is all you. And this is,
All right.
go for it. This,
If I can figure out what to say.
yeah.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming to our place, coming here, and I hope you get the chance to play some games. To tell you the truth, you know, take the time to play. But yeah, just as we walk through the front door of the place, the first thing you see is Dig Dug cocktail. It's not the most rare thing in the world, but you really don't see too many Dig Dug cocktails.
That's nice. That's actually the first time I actually seen this actually.
Yeah, so it's in decent enough shape, and I don't mind people putting drinks on it. But you know, start with it's actually our only cocktail in the place right now.
Right.
But
Please go ahead.
and then we also have our 3 cockpits up front. The Atari Star Wars. It's a very recognizable game. Everyone sees that and they're like, oh man, yeah. So
I have to ask, how did you get a hold of this one?
this one is Mike's, and we picked that up, I believe, from a storage unit.
You're the one that got it.
Yeah, wasn't me, but no, I went to look for that. So when we find games that come up for sale, and it's ones that we've been looking for our personal collections at the time, or around that time we were thinking of actually making this happen. So we're trying to find things that were you know, really going to attract people to come in. And that's definitely one of the games. And some of them we you know, Mike especially, have gone out of his way really looking for things like this Red Baron cockpit, which is extremely rare to find the cockpit, the game itself, and then to have the cockpit. And this
Actually was at ZapCon.
this was at ZapCon 2, and it's functioning great. The game's awesome. I love playing it, and that was one of Mike's grails. That he's got some great stories to tell about playing that back in the day.
Nice.
And I believe it was a cockpit version, the same type of game that he played when he was younger, and he had to find one. And here we have. So,
That is,
yeah.
that's amazing.
And then we have the Spy Hunter cockpit, which is also not a very common thing to see. You know, most of the Spy Hunters are all the stand-up version. And it gives just a different feel of gameplay with the speakers behind you. Like any cockpit you sit in, it's got a whole different feel because you have sound coming behind you. And, you know, you just, as you're sitting down, you have a different perspective of things. And it may feel a little more realistic or just a little more immersive.
Right.
So,
You can get real into it.
oh yeah, so we put the cockpits up front to kind of showcase them a little bit as you come
So
through.
it's a pretty good setup that you guys all the cockpits in the front. Just want to come in and be able to see these. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
These are beautiful cabinets, I gotta tell you.
no, they're very nice games. We try and keep them in the best condition that we can. Some of them need a little bit more work to make them more aesthetically pleasing, but we try and keep all the electronics, the switches, the game boards, the monitors, everything in the best shape we can. It's a constant battle. I know
yes.
you know.
Oh yes, tell me about it.
But again, it's part of collecting.
Of course.
And now people are getting to enjoy these games and play them, so that really amps up the maintenance for them.
Oh yes. So I see you got a couple of pinball machines right here.
Well, we got more than a couple now. Yeah, we start off. This was, you know, when we first started off, we had the 4 pins: Scared Stiff, the Party Monsters, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and Revenge from Mars. And these are all from Mike's personal collection. And then we had a few people request, hey, you know, I'd really love to see some older electromechanical. So we found this, and it functions just fine. You know, we picked it up. It was another local sale. Got the machine, checked it out, put it on the floor, and that thing's been getting constant attention. It's actually a lot more plays than I would have anticipated, being an older game. And you can see, everybody loves it. But yeah. Also having both Elvira pinballs really does a lot. They're great pins. They're fun pins. We we really haven't put anything in the arcade that we don't want personally. Again, I stress these are our personal collections, so we're not going to buy a game that we don't enjoy, or you know. But we're definitely open to trying new things, games that we haven't played before. But you know, it's still in our collection. They're our personal games. So you look at Mike's games, Scared Stiff, Party Monsters, Creech, and Revenge from Mars. Great pinballs. I know there's not a lot of love for Revenge from Mars, but I'll tell you what, give it a chance.
I have to say, you know, not many people has given that game a lot of chance. It's like one of the last pinball machines from Midway.
Yeah.
Before they actually went bankrupt, and
yeah,
they tried their brand new technology. I have to say it's one of the best technologies I've ever seen.
It's pretty incredible. You know, just please give the thing a shot. When you play it and you listen to it, it's sarcastic.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it has a shorter play field than like some of the ones that came before it. But if you really look at it, you put a tape measure to the play field, it's the same length of play field as some of the earlier pins before those.
Right.
So the play field's the same length as Mars Trek as it is on Revenge from Mars. So it got a lot of bad press right away. All this thing's short. It's too easy to play. It's not a really deep rule set, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like the whole video with the pinball. And that's one of the main problems.
You think about it, that was kind of the next logical step for Williams and Bally Midway to go, was to take what was really making money at the time, which was video games, and breathe new life into pinball. So there's even a great movie of it, you know. It's called Tilt.
Yeah, Tilt, right. Now, here's one of the things. How is the maintenance? Has it been giving you a lot of problems? Because I've been hearing they give out sometimes some video problems into it, or? Well,
we have one at my house right now. This is Mike's Revenge from Mars. And then we also have the Star Wars Episode 1. The only issues I've had is with the Star Wars is some caps drying out on the power supply section.
Oh, okay.
So they're actually old, and even old at the time. Personal computer motherboards driving the thing. So it was kind of cheaper parts at the time. Some capacitors weren't really up to spec. So that's about the only issue really that I've encountered with them. You know, you get more technical, that the video signal's a little underdriven, so they would benefit from a video amp to make the image brighter. Little stuff like that, but just like any other game, or especially pinball, if they're not abused, if they're well maintained, they function well. So yeah, we keep the games, the pins clean, playfields waxed, new balls in them. You know, you do what you're supposed to do,
right?
And they live a good long life. So.
Okay. So I see right here you got yourself.
Yeah, that's right. This little dude's mine. I got a couple of red tents, and this one happens to have the leg extensions on it, so you don't have to sit at it as a cocktail as it was originally intended. Some people don't remember these, but if you think back, dig back into your brain, they had these at like Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut?
And they had it at pretty much every little Mexican food restaurant I've ever seen.
I remember the smaller one, the white one.
The countertop.
The countertop. The one
that was a Play Choice.
Yes. Yeah. I remember those. So, I do remember these also.
Yeah. There was a few of these. I think I can't recall the name of the restaurant I used to play one at, but it was the sit-down one. So it's the exact same game, just has leg extensions, so you stand up and play it. I've got another one I'm going to bring in. We'll have to find out where to put it. But,
nice.
But yeah, this is it's a versus dual system. So there's, one game on each side. There's a few games that you can actually set the ROMs on and play versus the other side, like versus tennis, some games like that. And we are going to keep swapping the game boards out on these, so we keep the games fresh.
Nice.
And if I happen to put in a versus tennis, we'll put it up on on Facebook and let people know, come in and play against each other.
Right.
But we'll try and keep people abreast of what we're doing as far as changing games up. But you have to have Donkey Kong, of course.
Of course.
Everybody loves Donkey Kong. And then next to that we have our single monitor Play Choice 10. And I'd love to tell you the games list, but I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. I know we have like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and you know, Super Mario Brothers. Well, it's versus Super Mario Brothers is right here, which is different than the Super Mario Brothers that was on the NES and the Play Choice.
Right, it's a whole different.
Yeah, oh yeah. But we have Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3, and my favorite, and no one else's, The Goonies.
The Goonies.
Yeah. See?
And here's one of.
Do you have versus Goonies? I want to talk to Tim. Yes. They both use daughter boards that went onto the versus boards.
Castlevania. Oh yeah. Now, the one thing that I've noticed is that you were talking about the Goonies.
Yes.
Goonies only came out as an arcade, but you can never play it as a home system. It actually came out in Japan only.
That's right. It came out
actually on the Famicom. Yeah. So if you ever want to play it, you have to get a.
Well, that's they kind of bent the rules a little bit. You could not get the Goonies on your NES system, but you could play Goonies, which was a port of the Famicom, on Play Choice.
Right.
So if you had a Play Choice somewhere on location back in 1985, 86 when that came out, you could play it on this, but you couldn't buy the cartridge to bring it home.
Right.
You know, it was
there's
only
ways
in
that
Japan.
you can hack
Yeah,
it
you could
to
get around it now, but back then the only way to play Goonies was on the Play Choice.
Exactly.
And that was kind of a tool, at least that's my understanding, is that the Play Choice was a tool to promote the games that were coming out for the home system.
Right.
So, hey, on Play Choice we've got versus Super Mario, or versus, not versus, it was Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario, yeah.
Because the versus games are different, more difficult. When you play versus games like versus Castlevania, they were money-making, man. They wanted you to die quick.
Right.
When you get the NES and Famicom versions, you could sit down and play through the whole thing if you were good enough. But so we've got our Play Choice, our Donkey Kong Jr. Versus Castlevania, and this being a versus system, I can change out the ROMs to whatever I need. Just change the marquee change the game ROMs, and we can have something else here. In a few weeks or a month or however long. But and then R-Type, which was IRM program game, but it came out for Nintendo.
Now these ones actually, the VS is these ones actually are made out of it's not the wood, right? It's actually the.
You could talk for an hour about the differences in cabinets from Nintendo. But even Donkey Kong came out in
they came out with
plywood and particle board.
Yes.
And from what I found, I don't know if it's an absolute truth, but the Nintendo of Japan cabinets that I've had are plywood, and the Nintendo of US are particle.
Particle, yes.
So you could get blue cabinets of Donkey Kong and Popeye in either one, and they have offset T-molding, and just you kind of have to pay attention to what you're getting. And then like Donkey Jr. here, it's a gel coat plywood cap, so it's a Nintendo Japan cabinet.
Right.
And you can tell that the Donkey Kong is a Nintendo USA.
You can see it
slightly different. The shape is almost the same, but there's little differences in between them. But then when you get to these cabinets, they have the speaker panel on top, which I kind of prefer because the sound's coming at your head instead of
the bottom.
At your crotch. Yeah.
I don't think your crotch has ears or anything.
No. You don't want to hear that stuff. But no, I do like these cabinets, and R-Type came in this cabinet. The dedicated versus, which very few, I really haven't seen any in person. Well, I've only one in person dedicated versus cabinet, and it was this shape. It had gray siding.
Okay.
And the very first single monitor Play Choices that were dedicated were also in that gray siding.
They were in the gray.
Then they switched over to the black side cabinets like these. But if you can't tell, I love Nintendos.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've spent a lot of time beating on them and finding out what fits and what doesn't, and you know, all that good stuff. So this is a short row of Nintendos for us right now. Of course, we have more that we'd like to swap in and have people enjoy different kinds of games. So,
nice.
Yeah. And then behind me, you know, you got Gorf. Yeah. I mean, what can you say about Gorf? It's a blast. It's like 3 games in one. It's a kind of a color version of you know, like Space Invaders, and it's also a game that kind of heckles you,
Right.
and makes fun of you, you know, and like. But anyone that's ever played Gorf will remember that ta 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 as it laughs at you when you don't do very well. So.
I've always liked the background into it, the art of it and everything. So
yeah, it's another fairly unique cabinet. The basic shape of the cabinet's like Tron. You know, the top section of the cabinet has the shape of the Tron cabinet.
Right.
But it's a 2-piece, so they added the lower section to it to make it different. But yeah, the lower marquee is the first thing that catches my eye.
Yes, it does.
So I'm trying to remember exactly.
And did I ever tell you the story? My boss bought 20 of these for $100 a piece. And I converted all of them to Sky Sharks.
To what did you convert?
To Sky Sharks.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
We sold all the logic boards to Eldorado Games for about $4 or $5 a piece.
Well, it's also one of those board sets that when they have problems, they're kind of a pain, you know. So, because you know, it's a lot like some of the Sega games and that. So it uses multiple boards that go in slots in a cage, and the power supply is kind of a weird thing for Midway. Also, there's just a few games that use that as well. So I can understand. Maybe back in the day, I wanted to change them to something else, but it just kills me to hear that stuff now.
Yeah.
I know. When I talk to gentlemen that we're into industry, that they say, "Oh man, I cut a whole bunch of these up, these rare games, whatever." Well, of course, I understand what wasn't making money at the time needs to be something that makes money now. But now, as we're collectors and we go and try and find these games that we played, and there's a reason there's not so many of them left. They got converted, they got thrown away, they got traded into the manufacturers and destroyed.
Oh, I got so much stories about hearing about how the companies just destroy the arcades, and they think that they're not worth it, and it's like, I want to strangle them.
Well, you know, they weren't at the time.
Right.
You know, it's like it's also like classic cars. You know, why are certain cars so valuable now? Because they didn't build very many at the time because no one could afford them or want them.
Right.
So now there's 3 of this model of you know, Charger or Challengers. It's because it cost too much to get insurance for them at the time, and everyone's kind of like, nah, I don't need it. So now you try and find it, and they're multi-million-dollar cars. But now that we're collecting arcade games, pinball machines, and things of the like, there's not that many left.
Well, yeah. All right, so we got crossbow over here, but it's not actually just crossbow, is that correct?
Well, it is a crossbow, and it's a very nice crossbow, and it's another game that you don't see. You really... It's very surprising to know that there's more than one of these in the valley. And of course, we know where the other one is.
Yes.
Trace's a great friend of ours. We've really supported everything he's done and continue to do so. All right? Just to put that out in the open, make sure everyone knows, please go to Arcade 85 when Trace is open in Gilbert.
Definitely. Yeah, that's one of our... I think that's one of the first things I started off as the underground place is actually checking out Tres. So I'm very happy to check that place out and actually finding these places and everything. So,
but the reason that kind of is relevant right now in this conversation is Trace is the one that has the only other crossbow that we're aware of, at least I'm aware of in the valley, that people can play. There may be other ones, other Exidy games in people's collections, but
You don't want anybody touching them.
Well, kind of surprised that we let people touch this one. But it's a fun game. Besides Crossbow itself, this one has a multi-Exidy board in it. Okay. If I can recall how to change this. Might take me a second. I don't usually do this. Did you lock up? That's gonna start.
There's Chiller.
There we go. Now you can change the different games. Lexin, there's Chiller, there's
No, wait, that's a different name.
yeah.
So,
If I can recall.
Collinson? I thought that was.
Catch me on this. I'm gonna have to go grab Mike to see. There we go.
Oh, okay.
All right, Exidy collection. You got Crossbow, Catch-22, Crack Shot, Clay Pigeon, Whodunit, Cheyenne, Combat Chiller, and Hit and Miss.
So, how did you get yourself in contact with like this multi-board?
This is Mike's game.
Oh, okay.
It was purchased this way. It had the multi-Exidy board in it when Mike got a hold of it. So they are available. I don't recall who sells the multi-Exidy, or they may have sold before in the past. But
It's kind of like I was looking for the Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, and this comes up.
There's a few of those out, and as a little nod to the future, we do have a Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars board coming to put into the cockpit. So we get a big thumbs up from Tim.
All right.
So yeah, Crossbow is a great game. Plus all the other Exidy games that use a gun to play them. Come on, where are you gonna find that, right?
Yeah. Like the only place that I used to play this one is actually an emulator.
Yes.
And
it's
a whole difference. It's not the same.
2 hours on emulation, and I respect MAME. I really do. It serves its purpose to save some games that just plain don't exist anymore. And it also serves as a good tool for games I haven't played or don't really recall. I can go play them on an emulator and say, okay, I got to find that. And then I go out and find the real thing, you know? So.
All right.
What else do you want to?
Let's go ahead and Battle Zone.
Yeah,
so
Battle Zone's a great game. This is one of the ones that I really enjoyed playing when I was younger as well. But I don't think it's extremely uncommon. Maybe uncommon to find working, but but they're great. You know, it's a great game. It's I just have a soft spot for old vectors, you know. And speaking of which, we've got an entire row of vector games over here.
I can see that, yeah.
Come on, Space Fury. Love Space Fury. Some people don't recall.
One of my favorite games when it came out.
Good game.
We converted these from Zaxxons to...
We got it sitting next to Zaxxon because it's a similar shaped cabinet. It's kind of something we've tried to do in here. Anything that we have of the same manufacturer and same shaped cabinets, we kind of try and stick them together, like, you know, Phoenix and Pleiades, same cabinets, trying to put them together, kind of give a nice little line of things.
Right.
It really, you really see it on our Atari System 1 row over here, where everything's in a nice row. And we have 2 more System 1s we're trying to find, so if anybody knows where we can get a Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, would be wonderful.
You and me and
or even a Peter Packrat. But yeah, Space Fury, you got this guy. He's taunting you. Hey, are there any, you know, is there anyone who challenge my Imperial fleet? He yells at people as they walk by.
For my amusement, prepare for battle.
Come on, that's awesome. Just the track mode alone.
yeah.
This game worth it, and then the gameplay's fun too. So yeah, that's it's one of the Sega vector games like Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator, Just great games. You don't find these to play anywhere. Awesome, awesome stuff.
Well, let's check out your Atari games, actually.
Oh, come on, Omega Rays, man.
Very sorry, very sorry. Yeah. So, tell me a story about this one.
That's another.
It's actually acquired in it.
You know, a couple of these games you're going to have to ask Mike about, you know?
Okay.
Like Omega Rays. He was looking for Omega Rays. He loved playing Omega Rays. And it's another one of those games that a lot of people don't know about, don't remember, or never played or never seen. But you give it a chance, and it really sucks you in. It's a fun game. It's a different style of playing. And it's another early black and white vector, but it's got some of the features to it of like the old electromechanicals that I love about some of the early Midway games. It has a black light, and it's got, you know, some stuff going on in the background. It really give a depth to it, just like Space Invaders does. It has the moon base behind it that's lit with a black light, and you can't see it very well, but on like Seawolf, it also has some black lit stuff going on to give you a little bit more depth. But yeah, the Midway games of this era were great in that way. But Omega Race, you got to give it a shot. You got a spinner, you got thrust and fire, and you got to go around and chases, you know, your opponents around the box. And you can bounce yourself or bullets off some of these force fields. So you have to race around. You can see that. It's a great game. Highly, highly suggest trying it out.
What other Midway vector games can you think of?
I can think of none.
But my point exactly. It's very rare do you see a Midway.
Maybe another Midway vector. I'm not an encyclopedia of old games, but yeah, to find a Midway vector is incredible in itself.
Let's go check out the other ones over here. So there's a lot of people in here, but you know, I do see Crystal Castles over here. You got yourself the Missile Command, Road Runner, Marvel Madness, and Road Blasters.
Yeah, we got 3 Atari System 1s. We got 2 more to find, and we'll have them all.
So you're missing Indiana Jones
and Peter Packrat. Vector row here with Gravitar, Space Duel, Lunar Lander, which I love Lunar Lander. You cannot play Lunar Lander as an emulator.
No, you can't.
Right? Because of that throttle. You see that throttle? That is the only way to play Lunar Lander.
And it's we actually have one of those, and
I saw you there.
And we done both. We tried doing I tried playing the emulator. It's not the same.
No.
It's just that
if
feeling.
If you don't know any different, it's one thing. But once you've played Lunar Lander with that throttle,
Right.
you can't play it the other way. You can't play with both.
We got to check out what serial number you have.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's 539.
All right, cool. I have to ask, does yours have the asteroid side art or the dedicated?
It's a dedicated.
Oh, see, that's really, really cool. And then, of course, next to Lunar Lander, we have Asteroids, same cabinet.
Deluxe.
And then Asteroids Deluxe next to that. So we got a whole row of vectors right there from Atari.
So, you got yourself a nice little tapper over here.
Tapper here. The tapper works great. It looks great. It's the Budweiser tapper, which turns out, you see, I always thought the Budweiser tapper was the less common than the root beer tapper, and it turns out it's the other way around. Root beer tapper is less common because they first put out the Budweiser tappers and they cranked them dudes out, you know? And then they kind of got a little slap on the hand. They said, okay, fine, we'll turn it to root beer tapper, change some of the game ROMs, and of course, you know, some things on the artwork.
Well, there were some other beer companies. Actually, it was another beer company that used tapper.
Really? See? I don't know. I'd love to find out.
I keep forgetting the name of it. It was like a local. It was like a small company. It's not there anymore, but They used it for as an advertisement.
I love to find that stuff out. I love the history of these games, and anything anyone else tells me, that's great. I love to look it up, see that's cool. The different variances of the same game. I know there's a ROM hack to make the Simpsons characters on this. It might be kind of funny to find and do one of these times, but
that actually have a signature over the art. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Tapper was actually one of the original that the creator or whoever the person was that made it they actually was able to have their signature on it.
Oh, that's great. Cool stuff. I really, you got to love how it's got the stained glass look to the marquee.
Right.
But,
so
here I'm hanging on to Mad Planets. This is another game that it's a rare game to find. It's the same shape of cabinet as Q*bert, which is also hard to find a Q*bert these days for some reason. But everybody knows Q*bert. Everyone loves Q*bert. I used to play the 7-Eleven Q*bert at 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven Q*bert. It just had 7-Eleven on the attract screen. That's the only difference in the game as far as I know.
Huh.
Yeah, I used to play this. I think there were a few different versions. I even think there was a...
well, that was the first prototype.
I think, wasn't there a...
I don't remember.
A Pizza Hut one that had the Noid on it? I might be wrong on that. I know there was Yo Noid that was
for the Nintendo.
Yeah. But I don't
remember about Q*bert.
I have to look that one up again. I think there's like 2 or 3 different attract screens for Q*bert.
Oh, okay.
But here we got Mad Planets, which is another Gottlieb, just like Q*bert, around the same time. But it uses kind of a similar, grip and trigger to like Tron and some of the other games it uses. It's not the same, but it's kind of similar. You've got your trigger on the back, and then it's got a spinner. This game, I don't remember playing this one before because they didn't have it anywhere where I would play games. But I have a blast playing this. Come on, you got to shoot all the moons, and the planets get upset with you. So
you're shooting at them. What do you expect?
Oh yeah, exactly. This is a lot of fun. It's a blast. It's a rare game, and like all the games in here, I say please come down and try something you haven't played before. But Mad Planets being a rare game, this one's in very nice condition. Also a game we picked up from a local collector, and very, very, very fortunate to have this with us.
That's so cool.
It's just a blast. Yeah, so you go try and find another Mad Planets to play somewhere.
Right? All right. So you got yourself a nice little paper boy right here.
Well, if I come across as gloating a little bit that yes, we have these games, I am very proud of the collection that we have here. We've got a lot of great games that people remember playing. I played the heck out of Paperboy at Skateland, when I was
Skateland, oh my gosh!
See, I'd go to Skateland and I'd skate a little and I'd go play Paperboy, and I'd play Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator, which I love, and a Star Wars Vector and Battlezone.
Okay.
And I would play those at Skateland. I had a blast. But yeah, we got Paperboy, another game. You have the opportunity to play Paperboy in emulation, but without handlebars.
It's not the same.
Come on, you have to move the handlebars front and back and side to side, and then you've got your buttons here to throw your papers. You can't play it any other way.
True, true.
What makes the original cabinets so much more fun to play. You can play the games in emulation, you can play the ROMs, and the gameplay itself is the same, but the
feeling is not the same.
The feeling of it, the control of it, the immersion of the way you play the game with the original control.
Right.
It's nothing like it in the world.
Got yourself a little laser game right here.
Yeah, gotta have one laser.
Dragon's Lair.
Would love to have a few more, but Dragon's Lair, it's another game a lot of people remember playing back then, and they remember getting ridiculously frustrated with it.
This is one of the quarter munchers.
Absolutely.
If you don't know the patterns, you are going to be throwing all your quarters in there.
Oh no, I probably threw a roll of quarters in this thing and then walked away disgusted. It's a fun game though, and I'll tell you, when it's on free play, you get the opportunity to go to the
I love the LED scores. That's a real cool feature you never see on arcade machines. Rarely, yeah, maybe Sega Turbo or.
Yeah, Sega Turbo did have those scores. It's another neat little thing to add to kind of the feeling of playing the game. But yeah, the scores up top and credits and everything are displayed up top separately than on the screen, because on the screen was what was loaded from a laser disc.
Right, it was just a laser disc. Right.
But no, it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. And you're doing pretty good one-handed there.
And I'm just like, let me see how that goes. And I just lost.
Missed your sword there. And yeah, it's a great game too. There's Dragon's Lair too. So.
I do have one request. Correct me if I'm wrong. Atari System 2, 720.
20 degrees. It's another game that would be wonderful to have. I, like everybody else, have a good story of missing out on one by like 5 minutes, you know. But such as collecting, you know. It's we get great scores on some things. We pay too much for some things,
right.
And then we miss the ones that we really, really had to have, and we make up a bunch of words.
Oh yeah,
and then kick the truck. And, but
I remember 720.
720. And, that's one I have on an emulator at home, and it's fun to play, but still.
It's not the same. It's
I gotta find it, and it was such a cool cabinet too. It had that boom box on the top, and it was a unique shaped cabinet, and the gameplay itself was awesome. And there's a lot of people looking for 720s, so you have to watch out, because so am I.
So I was going to see right here that on this pinball machine, the play field, you know, is.
Yeah, the play field has definitely seen better days, but this was another pinball that was a friend of Mike and Kathy's, and they happened to mention, hey, we've got this pinball machine. It's on the back porch, and it's been there for a dozen years. So I thought, okay. But well, Mike brought it down here, and we got a look at it, and it was probably in pretty decent condition when it was put on the porch 12 years ago. But as far as the cabinet and everything else were concerned, but the play field, you can tell this thing got a lot of play. It's got you know, it's worn out around the inserts. It's got a pop bumper that is.
Seen better days.
It's off a different Valley game.
Oh, that's a different game. Yeah, it's not the same one.
What is that, like Harlem Globetrotters? But it's pretty worn out. But we cleaned some of the connectors and plugged that dude in. And after some smacking around on the squawk and talk board, it came to life.
Nice.
And yeah. 3 out of the 4 displays still work. So why is it back here? Yeah, it's kind of a project game. We're going to clean it up, and we're going to let people have some fun with it. It's not really up to the standards of most of the games that we have in here, but come on, this guy's got a little more life left in him.
Oh yeah, you know.
Give him a chance, you know.
Just needs a little love, you know. Get yourself some couple rubber bands and do a little
rubber
nice.
Shit on here, man, and call it cool. It's going to be a lot more in depth than that.
Right.
So we're going to give him a little more action, and you know, do what we can. We try and do everything we can to save games from the grave.
Well, Wolfman, I have to say this is one of the nicest places I've actually gone to. As an underground place, I would be honored to put you on our underground places to check out. You know,
no, people might find out about us. You know,
I think that's the whole point. We want to actually bring over there.
We do want people to come and play games, rare games or games that they're not going to see anywhere else. And please come down, try something new. You know.
if you guys want to come down, this is the spot. You know, a good place to check out on the weekends, Fridays and Saturdays. If you guys get yourself your membership, get yourself your monthly membership, not this one-day stuff. Get your monthly membership. And if you guys want to, hey, if you love this place, get yourself your year membership. Don't mess around here. This is the spot to come here to go and hang around, be with your friends, be competitive, and get yourself have a good time around here. This place I would highly suggest. And if you guys want to come and check it out, it's in Mesa, Arizona. So yeah, we're gonna post it on our website. More information and everything will be posted there. Wolfman, thank you so much for showing us around and everything.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming down. I'm glad you guys, got to see the place and feel what it's like when there's people in here and having fun. We got the jukebox going and the lights going, and
that's cool.
I love being here.
All right. Well, that's it for our show today. My name is Ricardo. Thank you so much for watching this Arcade. We'll see you next time.